Hi guys, welcome back to 100% Mag. So I hope you're all staying safe and well out there. And of course, I'm coming at you today to talk about some news about transfers for Newcastle United. There is news going around that Newcastle are looking and monitoring the movement of Ruben Neves. This will be a fantastic signing for us. Look at what Ruben Neves has done since he's went to Wolves. He's a fantastic player, and in our lineup, he would do absolute wonders for Newcastle United in that midfield area. It would allow, of course, for Bruno to be able to push higher up the pitch as well, because Ruben Neves plays more as the defensive midfielder rather than playing as a centre mid to attacking midfielder. Obviously, he does get forward now and again, but that would be something that would be an option if it was allowed to do. You know, if he wanted to go forward, then somebody else would sit back and allow him to move forward a bit. But he's coming in would be brilliant for us in the fact that it would allow for Bruno to be able to move higher up that pitch, and allowing Bruno to get them pinpoint passes into the likes of Almiron, Isak, Maxi, Wilson. You know, that would be fantastic for us if we could get somebody like a Ruben Neves into the club. We are monitoring him, so we'll see how it goes from here, but only time will tell if we can acquire the signature of him. He's only got 18 months left on his contract at Wolves as well, so there is a big possibility that we could tempt Wolves in selling him on before that contract runs down. That would be a fantastic signing if we could get it done in this window instead of having to wait, of course, until his contract runs down. And Wolves are monitoring one of our players as well, in Jamal Lascelles. They are looking at a possibility of course, buying Jamal Lascelles from Newcastle. So maybe, you know, we could use Jamal Lascelles in some sort of deal here to try and get Ruben Neves to Newcastle United as well. That would be another option that we could look at in this avenue to go down. And another one that broke last night of rumours and talk, of course, was Milinković Savić of Lazio. Of course, he's going to be playing in the game today for Lazio in the Serie A. But news broke last night on Sky Sports News, and of course on all over Twitter, on the NUFC Twitter timeline, that Newcastle are reportedly going to put in a 60 million euro bid for Savić of Lazio. Again, he's another player that can play in that defensive midfield position. So we can see the ideas here of Dan Ashworth and Eddie Howe in the Newcastle backroom team, that they are looking for somebody to play in that defensive midfield position to allow for the likes of Bruno to be able to push higher up the pitch. That is quite obvious that is the key player that we are looking for in this window, and if we can get him, then that would be absolutely amazing. Be it Ruben Neves or Savić, both of them are fantastic players. Savić, of course, a Serbian international. 60 million euros is pretty decent money as well for a player of that calibre. It's about 53 million, I think it is, in pounds for that player, of course, from Lazio. I've seen him play in the Serie A. He's a very fantastic player, strong physical player as well, as most of them Serbian players are. And Ruben Neves as well is quite along the same mould, a little bit technical, a bit technical than what Savić is, I would say. But to be honest, they're both fantastic players, so any one of them two, you know, that we could get in would be absolutely massive. At the end of the day, the main point is getting somebody in that can play in that defensive midfield position, allow for the likes of Bruno to push higher up that pitch, allowing Bruno to get into them attacking midfield positions, allowing him to be able to make them pinpoint passes into the forward line and allow us to get in behind them defences, like we've seen so many times this season, where Bruno's found that little pass through into the likes of Miggy, where we're seeing it against Leicester. You know, that little pinpoint through ball pass into Miggy. Miggy beat about 4 or 5 men and scored the goal. That's what we need to see Bruno doing on a daily basis. He can only do that though if there's somebody there to be able to sit in that defensive midfield position and allow for Bruno to be able to push higher up the pitch. Now, obviously at this moment in time, the person sitting in that defensive midfield position is Sean Longstaff. He has took up the job of sitting in that defensive position and allowing for the likes of Bruno to be able to push higher up the pitch. But we need somebody else of a higher quality, not being disrespectful whatsoever here to Sean Longstaff, but we need somebody of a higher quality, the likes of a Ruben Neves, the likes of a Savić from Lazio, you know, who knows how to do that on the European stage, because we're going to be going into Europe hopefully next season. With where we're sitting at the moment in the league, we are going to be probably going into Europe next season, and we're going to need a player of a higher calibre who knows what it's like to play in Europe in that defensive position. And I don't think Sean Longstaff's going to quite cut it in that department forward, but definitely going out there and getting the likes of a Ruben Neves or a Savić would be fantastic for us. You know, any other players that you can think of course, that haven't already been mentioned in the media for, you know, to be signing to Newcastle United, let us know your thoughts down in the comments below. But we definitely need somebody in that defensive midfield position to be able to allow Bruno to push higher up that pitch and get them pinpoint passes in. Also, we play today against Fulham at St James's Park, and if you haven't seen the preview for that game, do go check it out, and hopefully, of course, we come away with the win in the game today and push up to 14 games unbeaten in the Premier League. And also make sure to check out the channel after the match for my reaction on the game against Fulham today at St James's Park. Until next time, I'll see you all later, and however that.